Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Techy Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to be going over domain names, so where to buy them, what you need to know. Um, I have been buying domain names for a really long time. I think it's been over 10 years. Some things have changed. I've definitely picked up some great tips on making them more secure. And as I've worked with different clients, I've kind of been surprised at the confusion that they have of when they buy them. Sometimes they buy more services than they actually need. So we're just going to go over all of that today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and I'm going to share my screen with you and we'll go over a couple of my favorite websites. So Name Silo is my favorite. I have been using them for pretty much forever. They've got great prices, although I will say domain names in general have gone up a lot. Used to be, I think, $7.99 for a domain name, and now it's closer to $17.99. So it's basically gone up about $10 per year per domain. And this change has really just been in the last year. And I'm not exactly sure why the change happened, but it's definitely made myself more conscious of how many domain names I have because in the past it was only $8 and I have a great idea for a new business or a name in general. I just go grab the domain name. And then I think I got up to like 25, 30 domain names. And now that the price has increased, it's making me kind of reflect on that and not so sure that, I need all of the different variations of clickers to clients anymore. So I'm letting those things go, but this is still a great place. Pretty good company in general. Um, yeah, so, and I think I noticed too, so you can buy different extensions too. That's another thing that's good to go over. .com is going to be, especially if you're in the US, that's probably the best one you want to get. Sometimes I'll get something else if I need to. I had a great idea for a coffee shop and I couldn't get the .com, so I got the .coffee. I thought that was pretty cute. Um, yeah, that's what I got. So you can get really cool extensions. I think these extensions have come out because .coms got taken up so quickly and they can be hard to get. And so, these people want to make money and also just serve that need. Because people need websites and you need a URL for that. So it gives more options and it's kind of a win-win. And the different extensions, you can also find that the pricing is a little bit different. Sometimes it's more expensive. Like I think like .biz can be a little bit more expensive, where like the first year it's $5 and then after that it's like $25 a year. One of my domains is 9tothrive.biz because I couldn't get the .com. So sometimes that happens. And then you'll see all these other services like your email. Personally, for email, I would go directly through Google. This just kind of confuses me. And then the SSL certificate, you don't need that either. I would suggest getting your SSL certificate when you get your hosting. So when you have your website hosting, that is an easiest place. Usually the SSL certificate will be there for free. So that's just another thing that you don't need to buy when you purchase your domain name. So just be cautious and aware of all these costs that you could be adding that you don't really need. And then they have this really cool comparison of their service Name Silo with some of their competitors. You can kind of see for pricing. I think this $11 might just be for their first year. It says bulk discounts. I'm not really familiar with that. I don't think they've given me any discounts for all the domains I bought through them, unless I need to do it a certain way that I don't know about. But they do seem to be a bit cheaper. Like I was saying, it's about $15 a year. I actually pulled up one of my purchases. $17.29 is what I paid at the beginning of the month. So yeah, so it's more about $17, but it's still cheaper than the other options. And GoDaddy was another one. I haven't had very good experiences with GoDaddy. So I just wanted to show they usually are more expensive, so $21.99 a year. So yeah, so there are other options. And then another thing to think about when you purchase your domain name is privacy. So I've always loved that Name Silo just gives that to you. I think in the past I did buy from GoDaddy or somewhere similar, and I was shocked at all the emails that I got because they would just give my information out. And so it's been nice just having Name Silo. I don't have to pay extra for that versus other website people, you will have to pay extra for that every year, which is another $5 or $10. And then you can also forward your email or the domain if you want to. So if you're not using it, sometimes you can just forward that domain to another place. So for example, if I have my name, RebeccaVanDiest.com, and I don't have an active website for that, I could potentially just forward that to clickers to clients. So it's nice too when there's that easy interface or back end where you can just set that up. I have heard, I don't know if it was Squarespace, I think it was another WordPress hosting place that I can't think about right now, but they didn't have very many options. So the client that I had wanted to forward one of their landing pages to their website, and they couldn't do that. So I will say with Name Silo, their back end is really easy and everything just works really nicely. So I wanted to go over that. My new favorite, which is a little bit cheaper, is Namecheap. So my most recent domain I bought from them. And it does seem like prices in general are fluctuating. So it might be more like $14.98 a year is my guess. So maybe they give you, that 35% off your first year. So when you first buy the domain, you get a better deal. And then it's going to be a couple dollars a year cheaper, couple dollars, per year cheaper than Name Silo. So you can just shop around. And I've had good experiences with Namecheap too. It was pretty easy to set up. And what's cool too is they have this feature called Beast Mode. So it can be really challenging when you're starting a business to find out what domain you should have. So many of them are taken. And so it'll kind of help you. I'm sure it uses AI just to help you brainstorm URLs that you want to use or kind of make sense for your business. They kind of help you with that thinking process of trying to come up with your name. So that's that. And then one other thing I wanted to go over is you can actually make your domain more secure. And a lot of times when you have a website or you're about to connect your new website to the URL, you got to kind of make them talk to each other. And there's what's called the DNS records, and it can make your brain hurt and be a big hassle. And something I have found out about 3 to 6 months ago is about Cloudflare. So basically what this is it just really helps the security of the domain. And all you do is you tell, like Name Silo, for example, you change the name servers to Cloudflare. And then so you point from Name Silo to Cloudflare, and then Cloudflare is where it'll have all the records of like your email and your website. And because this is so popular, a lot of website platforms can easily kind of speak to it. So through Cloudflare, you'll sign into your your DNS record. So it would like connect to Name Silo and have that would be done. And then if I was hosting it on WordPress or Duda or Squarespace or anything like that, they would automatically just be able to go into Cloudflare and make those DNS changes, which can be so, so helpful and just make your life so much easier. So this has been a great service, and it's actually free. They do have a free option. I've never had to pay for anything with them yet. So that's been really nice as well. I think that, also with speed. So that was another issue I had about a week ago, is I had a client and her domain, I put it on Name Silo, and the DNS records were just not updating. And we waited about a day, and it was just getting pretty frustrating So I actually switched it to Cloudflare just with those DNS settings, the servers. And I would say within an hour, her email was working. Probably actually like 10 minutes. And so it was so much faster. And so it was really nice to have this option and to kind of save the day because she was out without email at that point for a few days. So sometimes, with business, time is really important. And so having this flexibility of something that works really fast, it works well, and it's free, I can't really complain about that. So I hope that helps. So yeah, when you are purchasing a domain name, just only purchase the domain name. You don't need anything else. I guess that would be my first tip is you don't need to pay for all the extras. Uh, check the who's privacy because it's included for free and you should be good to go as far as that's concerned. Another question that I often get is, or that I find is people have their domain and their website with the same service. So for example, some WordPress hosts will also sell domains, and so they'll have them together, and it can seem easier, but I would say for security purposes, have them separate. So I've never purchased them from anybody that I do website hosting with. I just keep it separate, and that way if there's an issue with one, it's not with the other, and you can kind of troubleshoot it if you need to. I've never had an issue, but it was recommended to me when I first built my very first website what feels like 50 years ago. Um, and I've just stuck to it. It seems like a good policy. And so, using a place where you can get a really good deal like NameSilo or Namecheap, and then you have your website hosting somewhere else. Next week, I will be showing you how to do a landing page. So we'll be talking a little bit more about hosting. And as far as like what I recommend and those kind of things. So if you have any questions, definitely bring those. But I think that's about it for today's class. If you do have questions and you're watching the replay, you can go ahead and put them in the comments below for YouTube. And otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording and we'll head into the open office hours. So that's another thing too. If you ever have any questions, be sure to hop on one of these calls that we do every week. And I'm happy to answer any tech related questions that you have. So thank you for watching and I will see you next time.